everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing maple syrup. So today we're going to show you guys how we tapped our trees and the boil down process, all and how to get to maple syrup. So today I have my husband Brian with us, who really he's the one that's done all the work for the maple syrup. I've just watched to make sure nothing's boiled over. So we're going to walk you through our trees and how to do that. But first, just a few technical points. To start your maple syrup, you want to make sure that it's going to be cold at night, so below freezing, right?
Yeah, you want to look for that freezing point at night, so it's below 32 degrees at night. Around here in Michigan, it starts late February, early March.
Yep.
But you want it to get up to those mid-40s during the day.
Yep, and so right now it's perfect because it's getting up to about 40 degrees, mid-40s during the day, but it is dropping down below that freezing point at night. So the trees are running, and a lot of times you can see right on the side of the bark, it'll just look like it's wet, and that's the sap running out of the tree. So here we've already tapped how many trees? 6 trees?
We've tapped 1, 2, 3 trees, but we have multiple spiles in those trees, which the diameter of your tree will determine how many spiles you can put in it. Most of our tree diameters are over 2 foot, so you can get 2 to 3 spiles per a tree.
Right, so if your diameter is about 24 inches or larger, you usually can get up to 3 spiles per tree, is that correct?
And you don't want to put the spile on the north side of the tree. You want to keep it south, east, and west.
Right, so we will show you a few different ways on how you can actually tap your tree and what you can use at home that you may already have to use to collect the sap. And then right here we actually have some sap boiling down, so we'll take you through that as well. But let's look at those trees first. So what do we have here?
These are our spiles and our syrup bags or sap bags. These are a couple different ways you can collect sap.
Right.
Some are more makeshift than others. This one we took a gallon jug and see right here, put a spile into the tree. You drill into the tree with a 7/16 bit, about 1.25 inches into the tree. You just want to get into the sapwood. You don't want to go too deep or else you'll damage your tree. You see this one's dripping still.
Sure.
Dripping pretty fast. And you want it on a slight angle so that the sap drips out. So I just took some electrical wire, some ground wire, copper, and made a little loop around the handle and honed out like a little hole for it to drip into, and that taped over the top. But this one, the bugs can get in more so than this system, which originally we just used gallon Ziploc bags.
Right.
To put the spile in the tree. And I just poked a hole real close to the Ziploc strip, or whatever you want to call it, so that it would hang on it. The problem with these are you have to empty them a lot, especially like right about now when it's between 30 and 45 degrees. It seems to drip the most.
Right.
So we got these 2-gallon bags, and these Get a Grip sap bag holders. Not 100% sure this is how you're supposed to use them, but it's worked so far. So we were using cedar shakes, just a cedar shake up against a tree with some screws through it. You don't want to go too deep with the screws, like I said, but basically these fill up to 2 gallons. You want to get them off the tree before they fall off. But just check out the boil down process, right?
Sounds good. So now that we have our sap collected, we have right here just a 5-gallon pot that we're going to be boiling down with a propane tank. So tell us again exactly how we can boil this down and how much time it's going to take to get it to maple syrup exactly.
Yeah, well, what we're using here is actually a deep fry turkey base. We call it a turkey deep fryer.
Yeah.
The base. So you use that. It's got a good wide base and sturdy. Make sure you do it away from your house. Don't do this in your garage. Just the safety aspect of it. But since this is 5 gallons, the ratio is 40-1. So I just do the math. There's other ways to determine the sugar content, but I'm not that far into it. So 40-1. So we know this is 5 gallons, or 5 gallons. So at 128 ounces per gallon, times 5 divided by 40 will get you how many ounces boils down to, and I think it was close to 16. So it's about like a plastic water bottle's worth of sap that we'll get out of this batch. Right. And you can boil it down more or less what you want, but we like to make sure you boil down outside the majority of it. So we like to boil it down to a point when it starts getting a goldish tint to it. So usually it's down to about, I'd say, half gallon. But
roughly, yeah.
Exactly. So you want it to boil, you can keep the lid on. We're just getting it up to temperature right now until it starts really boiling. When you get it down to about here, you want to make sure it's just to a simmer. You don't want to burn the sugars. We did make a furnace out of wood, or a wood stove furnace, and that does give it like a smoky flavor,
Yeah.
which we enjoy. It's just right now with kids and everything, it's difficult to keep stoking it. Yeah.
Right.
So, like I said, boil it down mostly outside, and then you'll refine the boil inside. We'll show you how to do that to get it down so you're not burning it, but you're getting that quality maple sap that you like. And another point to mention is the two trees that we're getting our sap from are a sugar maple and a Norwegian maple, and I guess we can show them how to determine what those are. There's other maple trees you can tap, but those are the two that we have.
So let's take a look at those two different trees right now, and then I'll show you a finished product that we've already had boiled down to maple syrup. Another thing to mention is that even though you're not getting very much, because it's such a pure maple syrup, you don't need very much for it for what you're going to be using it for. At least for us, if you're doing like pancakes and waffle kind of thing, a little bit goes a long way with this type of maple syrup. So let's check out those two different trees.
Right here is the sugar maple. It's on the bark. You can peel it off. Come right off. You don't want to do that too much in the tree, but this is the sugar maple. That's how I determined it, basically the bark. So keep an eye out for those helicopters and the maple leaf, and then you can check out the bark and kind of determine what kind of maple tree it is.
Step backward.
Okay, so we just brought the sap inside, so we've been boiling it down for about 4 hours. We got it down to about 1 gallon worth of sap, and you can tell right here that it has a tinge of color in it, which is what we're looking for. And the only reason we really brought it inside right now is because it's dark out, so we will continue the rest of the boil down inside from this point. All right, so it's day 2 of our sap boil. And so far, all we've done is run it through a cheesecloth, brought it in from outside and ran it through a cheesecloth onto a smaller pot. Keegan, what are we making?
Maple syrup.
Yeah, maple syrup. All right, Daddy, what else do we have to do with this guy?
Well, since we ran it through the cheesecloth, we got all the little bits of bark out and anything that fell in there when we were harvesting the sap. As you can see, it's got that nice tint to it. We boiled it down to a little bit less than a gallon. I usually just go by the measurement of the ounces. I know I'm going to come out with about 16 ounces with the 40-to-1 ratio. But you can also take a sugar. You can take a sugar thermometer, and you want to get the concentrate to 7 degrees above the boiling point of water. It'll start thickening up, but usually we don't have that around, so we end up just going by the ounces. Yeah. And just make sure you just have it to a simmer. You don't want a hard boil or else it'll burn the sap. That's about it.
Okay, so it has been boiling now for about 3 hours, and you can see here it's pretty much the good consistency of syrup. It's very sugary, so you don't need very much compared to the fake stuff that you get at the store. But it has great color, and actually each batch so far has had a little difference in color, which and taste for that matter, but I guess that's just depending on when the sap is flowing, maybe. Today on the channel. I hope that took the edge off of not harvesting out of your garden, so yet you could still get something out of your garden. So Don't forget to boil down that last part in your house so that you can really watch the sugar content and the coloring and making sure that you're getting the content just where you want it. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below. And as always, please like and subscribe. Thanks again. See you later.